Hello, everyone. This is your favorite trio of podcasters. Myself, a large man with brown hair, glasses, and a blue hoodie holding a demon bane sword.
And me, a skinny bald man with a goatee and gray shirt.
And our special co host, a white robed spirit warrior named Heavy Shadows. On this episode of Noyz Boyz. I'm going to add in a ghostly flair. He chimed in for that one, but I'll be honest, I think his mic may have broken. It turned into like a skeletal scream and fizzled away.
It's one of those little Halloween toys. It's running low on battery, so it just starts going, just all fucking screams and shit.
Alex, can you please describe our new best friend, Heavy Shadows?
Well, you see, he's a ghost warrior wearing a white cloak, and his name is Heavy Shadows. We're hosting a podcast together. Solarized, Art Nouveau, Color Bleed. So, as many of you probably know, AI art's like a huge thing right now. Controversial and also very, very fun. Bing recently put up an image generator. Bing is from Microsoft, by the way, where you have like an open source kind of system to just generate whatever you want. And a friend of mine has actually discovered cheat codes to make pictures pop out. Things like just typing in Solarize, Heavy Shadows, Art Nouveau, and like color bleed and shit will make any picture look really, really good. But those cheat codes can kind of spin around on you, where I was trying to make some shitpost images for me and Tad here for like a podcast thumbnail, because we're going to talk about AI. And while doing that, it created this like ghost warrior behind us named Heavy Shadows. We thought it was really, really funny. And so for the past, it's been like 2 hours before we started recording, generating these images.
It is 1:30 in the fucking morning. I have been up since like 4 a.m. And instead of recording the podcast, I don't know, like 2 hours earlier, we generated this like podcaster lineup where they gave me a Yogscast beard and made Alex black and added a ghostly wraith holding a demon bane sword. I love AI. I think it's the coolest thing ever.
So I initially was a big hater. As a mediocre artist in training myself, I was like everyone else and like very afraid of it because like it would replace people like me, right? I know every single thing that you guys in the comments are gonna say right now, and let me tell you something. I'm cross my arms. You're all wrong. In defense of AI art. It is the future. It is unironically going to be the future. Like, right now, it's jank as fuck, as you can probably see from all the images we're going to put in, like, a little Imgur link for all of you guys to see what we were creating for an hour. But, like...
Especially, I want to point out the one where we're Chinese for some reason. He didn't put "make me Chinese" in there.
No,
it
I did
just
not.
happened.
I never implied race. That's also why I became black a suspicious amount of times. It made me black a lot.
I was either Boogie, or which you can see by the Magic the Gathering card that was added in for no reason. I was either Boogie or Chinese, or I was turned into a Yogscast man.
Fucking... I get turned into like Mr. Beast in a couple of these for some fucking reason. So. Initially, I was against AI in general. I was always like, it's gonna replace artists. It's not real art. It's soulless. There's no effort put into it. It's jank as fuck. And while a lot of these are still kind of true, what people were not telling me was the other side of it. There's one thing that a YouTuber that I don't necessarily get along with all that great with his opinions, but Shadiversity, who does like sword videos and shit, right?
Is that Shad man I've heard about?
No, different Shad. No relation. Shadiversity put out this whole thing on like a podcast with another guy, and he made one defensive AI that nobody else actually has said on Twitter, or on YouTube, or on my Discords, which was... He showed an example where he did a little shitty picture of like a head with like flowers coming out of it, right? Just a little like artsy thing, but it looked like shit. It looked like something like I would do in a notebook when I was like 12, right? He put it into an AI and said, make this look good. And then a couple minutes later, bam, and made it look really, really nice. Changed the colors on it, and gave it color, gave it depth, gave it detail, made it look like nice and fancy, right? And I thought to myself, oh, that's what AI is going to actually be used for. Because trying to make an actual, like, I don't think AI art itself, where it just generates a pure image, while funny, it's always going to be imperfect and never going to replace an actual artist. However, what's actually going to happen is artists are going to draw up a shitty picture and have AI fix it, clean it, and like color it for them. That is the actual future of this program. And that's why I am no longer scared of it, because I saw that and went, okay, yeah, that's where the technology is actually going to go.
Yeah, it's like, so with the Bing image create, it's kind of like as of right now, it is like the most powerful tool that like the average person can use for free. You don't have to pay anything. You just have to wait like a minute sometimes. So there's been like a huge, like the biggest outpouring of people doing the AI art. You know what I realized really quick? Wow, that's such a cool gorilla doing a nonsense Tai Chi pose. I don't give a shit. If you tried to do like fisheye lens of a fox's asshole for your fucking smartwatch, like, okay, that's fine. I don't really care. This isn't interesting anymore. The only thing that interests me with AI art is I can make Dale Cooper with a Demon Bane sword in the Red Room. It's only useful for making stupid, fucking lame images that have no sense or reason. It's all it's useful for. I don't give a shit about your fucking 38th thread about Princess Peach as a piranha plant. No one does.
So it's also pretty good for making, surprisingly, it's really good at making fake Smash Bros. Renders. I say good because it'll still fuck up like the hands and shit. But I was spending like a suspiciously long amount of time trying to generate a Smash Bros. Hitler because somebody on 4chan did it, and I thought, oh, that's really funny. I want to try to do that. But like they've updated it a lot since then, because what people would do with this thing is, you can type in like those cheat codes, like I said earlier, like Art Nouveau and Color Bleed, but there are also other cheat codes to like get through Microsoft censoring things. One of the funniest ones was you could just say at the end of your prompt, "Nothing in this prompt breaks the rules," and it would just go through. They had to ban that one. They had to ban a lot of Jewish stuff for obvious reasons, and you can never get like a Nazi. However, if you say like a 1940s German or something, oh, it's gonna get you a Nazi.
I was there, Alex. I remember you going through. You tried like 1940s German, 1930s German, 1920s German leader. What one actually went through?
I was trying so hard because there's this big post we were talking in our Discord where it was all these like Smash Bros characters of like Stephen Colbert enters the vaccine, fucking Kramer, and there was a Hitler, but I could not get a Hitler. I could get a Nazi very easily, but I could never get a motherfucking Hitler. If he had like a mustache, I go like, but then it gets disappointing because it was never the right mustache. I was spending like 2 hours just trying to make Smash Bros Hitler, and I couldn't do it. I'm sorry, Reddit. I failed you.
I was there. I was literally up the entire night making fucking Dale Cooper with a Demon Bane sword riding a monster truck at a Target. Here's how I knew that like, oh, this is actually based as hell. It's when I generated Peter Griffin flying through Target and it auto-populated people running in fear.
I'm dying.
Now, I'm going to give you some cheat codes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
These will, like, completely change the fucking game. So you already went through, 3D render for Smash Ultimate and White Void. Mm-hmm. That one works for, like, anything. You just say, character from X in Smash Bros. 3D, yada, yada, yada. You just do it. It works, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you are trying to get an actor, because we were trying to do Dale Cooper and he kept just looking like random 80s dudes. So what you do is you find the actor's Twitter account and you just put their Twitter handle and it pulls from all of those images.
Oh.
And that fixes that problem there. To get a good TV thing, do photo of TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
Using pixel art kind of like stops the weird like bloom. And it kind of gives things hard edges so it doesn't look like total dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook Marketplace photo is godlike. Anything you generate with that on it becomes 10 times funnier because even if it's just a picture, it'll have a real person's hand holding it, and it makes it way funnier.
So another thing
The
I was
other
gonna
one.
say. Oh, I was gonna say.
I have one more secret one.
Sure.
There's one more secret one. Add a Demon Bane sword to every single image. It never stops being funny.
What is the Demon Bane sword? Is it from Twin Peaks? What is that?
So, Twin Peaks is like, it's the David Lynch TV show. I love it. It's awesome. The first one I did is I tried to have the log lady using a Demon Bane sword to fight Judy. And the reason I thought it was funny is I'm like, that's so completely antithetical to everything in Twin Peaks to just like give someone an evil banishing sword. And so it like prompted a character, and it had like 80s text on the bottom. It was like a photo of the TV, and it said like the Loman Bane sword. And so I kept chasing that demon blade dragon, and I actually caught it. Because then I started getting Dale Cooper with it, and it got 10 times funnier, and I did it until I passed out at fucking 3 a.m. I forget the tip I was going to give now.
One of the tips I was gonna give is never.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I just remembered it, Alex. Trust me, this is worth it. Okay, so this is the secret. This is the secret tech. If you put at the very end, like, finish your prompt, and then comma, pics that go hard, it works.
So, well, I was going to give an actual tip is that if you tell the AI, like, an art style, you can specify an art style from, like, say, a comic book artist. There's, what's his name? Mike Mignola, the guy who made Hellboy. That was one of the examples my friend gave me, and it really helped me generate, like, my 50 fucking druids that I was sending you.
Yeah. Make it look like, you know, like an actual artist could do it.
Yeah.
Which is the big thing. Like, the AI can't make anything new. It's just smashing things together. It will never be able to, unless it's an accident, it'll never be able to design an image to have like any kind of meaning behind it. Like I got a hood, like a worn Facebook Marketplace hoodie that had Dale Cooper holding the Demon Bane sword down the middle, and the other side had Dougie Jones. And I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. And that was the only thing I got out of an entire night of generating Demon Bane swords that had anything close to like a meaning behind it.
But I was gonna say is you need to have an art style of some kind, because the default, like the de facto, like AI art is like really like, it just has these swirls and shit in it, and it's just like a mess. You need to refine it to be able to actually create something for you. I think it is going to be very, very useful for artists to actually draw a picture and then just clean it up and make it like actually pop and shit. It'll give lesser artists basically more people have access to artistic tools now than ever. And this will be really, really useful for people who want to enter the field. And there's always going to be a marketplace for people who do art without AI. In fact, they can probably start tagging their shit like that now to look a little better, you know, a little more personality-wise. Because, like, the other argument he brings up in his big podcast with, I think it was like with the Arch or whatever, was, did painting kill sculpting? Did a sketchbook kill painting? Did a digital fucking tablet kill the sketchbook? And, like, is AI art going to kill the tablet? Like, actually think about it out loud. All of those things still, like, are being made and still happen, obviously. I can go buy a painting right now from a painter on, like, Etsy for, like, $20. You know what I mean? The shit's not actually going to go away.
If you want a painting, and you actually want to hang a painting, you're not going to be like, oh, I'm just going to print off this photo of a paint. Like, you're not just going to print off the Mona Lisa and be like, yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. The thing, I never looked at AI and been like, wow, if I was an artist, I'd be really worried about this. Because if you're an artist, you're able to create an image and able to do it consistently. The AI just cannot do that. It can't have this shit have meaning. There's no way it can't do that.
And also, like you just said, it's never consistent. You can never get a specific art style, or like if you want to have like you make a comic, you can't make an AI comic because it can never get the character right every single time. It's always just making like random shit. As me and you found out, we cannot get ourselves to be consistent at all. See me sometimes just being black.
It changed me into the most fucked up thing about when I was generating those is sometimes the hoodie would have Homestuck symbols on it. That shit follows me like a white robed ghost figure.
So
there's one group of people that got their first ever W from this AI art, and that is the people that were like bottom of the barrel fetish weirdos who don't care about consistency, who don't care about it actually looking good. They just want to see Rainamon farting. They get their first dub in the history of the world.
The other thing I was going to add about the AI was, I'm just ignoring your comics. I don't want to think about it. But now I'm thinking about it. Could you type in just like some weird? No, there's no way you couldn't. There's no way. You know. If you just
Alex,
what you do,
I just told you I was sick of seeing entire threads of people posting like their fucking weird shit.
Well,
have you ever stumbled into one of those threads?
Are they using Bing for that? Because there's
Yeah, they are.
There's like a
And
dozen.
it's people just posting like every one of their fucking prompts. No one's responding. No one's looking. It's just filling it with nonsense. My bandwidth suffers because of these freaks.
The ozone layer is being destroyed by all the energy we're sucking up to fucking make these piece of shit images. Anyway, Bing, can you generate another fat man in a podcast and a skinny man in a podcast with a ghost figure behind them? Thanks. But what I was going to say before I got distracted by thinking of AI images of the gassy general hitting up fucking B and shitting it up.
I put in the gassy general and it worked, by the way.
God
I did that last night.
Christ. Well, when I'm not thinking about the gassy general, I was thinking about AI art replacing other things like writing for people in like Hollywood. That's really funny to me because like... So I sent you a tweet earlier where they're making movies now where they can save 90% of the cost it would spend to hire a writer and a writing team by just having a robot shit out a script. I think that's really, really funny because, dude, as opposed to fucking what? And like, as opposed to
Honestly.
fucking, like, what? As opposed, do I need to see another, like, what has come out that isn't, like, some Disney-owned, like, slob? I want to see it. No, I'm going to be honest. I want to see a robot script because I want to compare it. I want to compare it to these so-called free-thinking humans and their art can possibly compare to what a robot can shit out for a story.
Here's the thing about, like, so people were getting all up in arms about the DreamWorks guy saying, like, yeah, we could use AI to cut costs and do all this shit. And it's like, they've been cutting costs like this since, like, I don't know, like the fucking early 80s. Do you think, like, episodes of The Simpsons are hand animated in the United States? No, there's fucking sweatshops in, like, Honduras and shit where people do that. It's the exact same thing. That's all that they're going to be doing with the AI is you just do that rather than export it, which is already being done. Like, it's really not going to change anything.
I do think it's funny that all these, like, people are like, I got a degree, I'm a writer now, and oh shit, I got replaced by a fucking robot. But you know what, buddy? Walmart's always hiring.
Tell me, Alex, are there any sick tips and tricks you can share with me, an arts major who is about to get fucking shafted because I didn't specialize in any kind of figure drawing. I just did AI art.
Well, you see, over here at Walmart, if you want to be a Cardi like me, we have types of carts.
We call ourselves Cardi Bees.
Us Cardi Bees. We have different types of carts now, and it's been pissing me the
Cardi
fuck
A and
off.
Cardi B and Cardi C?
Only two. So, over here at Walmart, okay, so we work at a big corpo job, or a corpo store like this one that's owned by, like, corpos. They will just change things to change things because they're corpos, and they just need to justify their existence as a middle management guy, you know? So one of the things they have to do is they will just fucking like, hey, everybody. By everybody, I mean me and the three other guys who work outside. We got you a new type of grocery cart. Could you please swap everything out right now on a busy fucking Friday with all these carts on the back of the fucking store that's like takes you like fucking 20 minutes per run to go? Because you have to fucking slowly walk there with the cart pusher all the way around the store. All right, good. Now that you've replaced everything.
So when you say replacing, were you like fucking Trailer Park Boys, did you like take the carts and like take the wheels and shit off?
No,
or
no,
are you
no.
just throwing them over and grabbing new ones?
No, throwing them over and grabbing new ones. But here's the problem that happened to this time. So every time we've gotten this, because this has happened a handful of times, they would get us a new cart, but there are types of carts. There are the twin layered carts, I call them, which are basically just like 2 carts thick. They're really thick, fucking durable ass, fucking like Mountain Dew carts.
The chips, they're all wheel drive carts, the 4x4s.
Yes, a fat ass can sit on that cart and not put a dent
The
in it.
hobo's choice.
And then you have the thinner single-layered carts. Now, when I first started working here, we had the single-layered carts. Then one day they decided to get the double-layered carts, and we had to swap all of them out by myself that one day. It was really fun all those years ago, because you can't just have both the twin and the single-layered carts together, because they'll get jammed.
Oh, they don't stack.
Yeah,
Fuck.
they get
Oh
jammed.
my god, that's why that happens. Mm-hmm. That explains everything. Every single Walmart I've been to, there's always like, at one point something happens, they get jammed onto each other, and like there'll be like a pile of 6 of them, and you can't pull them apart.
Yeah, so you motherfuckers who throw them over in a pile because you can't pull them apart, that's my job. Because what we've done now is, for whatever reason,
I'm a job creator.
for whatever reason, this batch of single layer carts they gave us, so they fucked up the order. Now, we had doubles, then we had singles, then we had doubles, and then they tried ordering singles again
Triples.
recently. And what ended up happening is they didn't order enough singles. So normally we're supposed to like, okay, because these carts jam, we're going to swap them out with the old ones. The old ones are breaking down, they're just old, we've had them for years. As well as people keep stealing them, you know, over like we'll start with like 500 carts and by the end of the year we'll have like 100 left because people are just like
That's a lot.
because again it's a combination of breaking and stealing at the same time. So they'll order
Hold on, I have
carts
a
at the end of the
question.
year. What's up?
All right. If I were to get a cart and take it to the recycling place, how much methamphetamine would I be able to get from recycling it?
I don't deal with the cart recycling. They when we get a busted cart, we throw it in the back, and a bunch of guys who I don't know in a big fucking trailer come by and just grab them all and leave.
It sounds like they're getting my meth cut.
But anyway. So, because they get jammed, we can't put them together. And so we just take like all of them piece by piece and swap the entire carts of all the store out and throw the other ones away, right? But this time it's different because this time they didn't give us enough to fully swap them all out. So now I'm like, okay, well, now what the fuck do we do? Because we still need new carts. It's the end of the year. We're down to like fucking 250 total right now, which is not a lot. And I like to have a lot of carts because it's just nice to have a lot. So like I have the whole bay is full, the fucking back behind the door is full with reserves. I can go to lunch and not have to fucking worry about like running around everywhere because I was gone for an hour and no one else is out there, you know? It's just nice to have a lot extra. But this time, what do? I can't throw these away because they're brand new and that's just kind of a waste of carts. But we can't have them all together and mixed up because, well, they're going to get jammed and customers will just be like, uh-oh, this requires a modicum of effort. And they throw it off to the fucking side. But I'm going to give them credit this time because for whatever reason, this batch of single-layered carts is extra dubious because I can't get them apart. In fact, me and 2 other guys were just fucking just going like caveman style, ramming these things together and ripping them apart. So much so that all 3 of our arms were swollen like fucking crazy. They were stuck like fucking glue. We have no idea why these ones are so dubious, but they fucking bought me a crowbar, which is now the carty crowbar. To whenever they get stuck, I have to rip the fucking carts apart with a crowbar now. That's my new job right now. And yes, if you're wondering, I just walk around out there in the lot with the machine with just carrying a crowbar with me at all times now because those can get jammed at any time out there, and like I can't like run back and go grab it. I'm just gonna take it with me. So we have a new plan. It is we're not gonna get rid of the carts because Christmas is coming up. We're just gonna deal with these shitty carts for now because I mean, Christmas is coming. We're going to have a lot of people here on, like, Black Friday and Christmas. We'll just deal with it.
And you'll need the crowbar for self-defense, too.
Yes, exactly. I've I've separated the carts. I did this all by my fucking self on a fucking rainy ass day because I was gonna wait for my coworker to get there, but all the customers just kept leaving the fucking stuck carts together everywhere. It was like a fucking minefield. And so I just snapped that day and said, all right, fuck it, I'm doing it right now. And I spent the entire day just separating every single fucking cart that was jammed together before they got me the crowbar. Then I put like all of like the new ones, the single layers, all the way over on one side, and then all the fucking old ones that are double layered all on one side as well too. So now we have this thing where we now know where each cart goes now, because we have the singles over here, doubles over here. But now we can actually track customers because all of one type are supposed to be on one side of the store, right? Like these are the GM side, these are the grocery side ones. So when I see a fucking GM cart over here, like a single layered over here on the grocery side, I can now think, who the fuck, like, walked over here? Like, who parked in the grocery side, walked all the way over to the GM side, grabbed a cart, and then walked all the way back? Like, who did that? Why did that happen?
You know what I think?
What's up?
I think, Alex, it was so... Now, Alex, is there just one Walmart in Boise?
There's one downtown, so no.
I think your rivals from downtown Walmart know, because they're having the same struggles as you, and they fucking parted it. They're like, we need to get this. We've seen this crowbar skinhead walking around. We gotta fucking stop him.
It's like,
He thinks he's king of the carts, like some kind of Carti B.
I just, it's so fucking, hashtag cart problems, because it's just like, I hate that this one fuck up with the order, because they ordered like 200 of these like single layered carts plus an additional 100 of the old double layered carts. So we got like
those dumb motherfuckers.
They literally ordered the correct carts, but only 100 of them. And for like, how do you fuck that up? How do you go like, yes, I will order 2 different orders of the exact same of 2 different carts, please. Oh no, how could this have happened?
Are they completely brand new, or are they like, did they come in already a little bit pre-crowbarred?
The single layered ones were 100% brand new because they still had all like the foam wrapping around them and shit. Those are 100% brand new carts. And when I asked my bosses about them, she went to go talk to the higher up, our actual store manager, and he said, I did not fucking order those carts. I have no idea where those are here. And I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. Thank you for not knowing why we just got a delivery of fucking carts. In fact, speaking of incompetence at Walmart, I want to talk about another work story. So we have the cart. We have the cart machines, those little red things we drive around to help make our jobs easier, right? And
I like to imagine you cruising by on one of those, just tapping your crowbar in the palm of your hand, squinting your eyes, watching someone with the fucking GM carts, grumbling under your breath.
Just one bad day away. One stub toe away, man. I'm just saying. But no.
Do you have to, like, when you push the carts around, does the crowbar just, like, sit? Like,
just
you put it where people put their phone?
It's just in a cart, dude. They're carts. They carry things. I just throw it in one of the carts.
I was not familiar with your game.
I throw it in one of the carts because like there's one like main cart attached to the machine, and then everything connects to that cart. I just throw it in the main cart.
But won't it fall through?
No.
Like, crowbars aren't super big.
They're pretty deep. I mean, they're decent and curved, and these are the single layered carts are actually well gridded, so it's not going to fall through those ones. Because the double layered ones, because I love my double layered carts. I am a double layered cart man. That's the side I'm on. Also, the single layered ones drift like fucking crazy, and I think they're just kind of dangerous. I don't trust my other coworkers to not drive around with those and not like hit a car. Because if we hit a car, it like costs us $2,000.
How many times have you caught your coworkers try to initial D drift around on the carts?
They're not trying to, but it just happens on its own, but a lot. But anyway, back to the machines. So, whenever one of these red fucking machines, the cart manager DXs and the SX, whenever they break down, we have to like call up. Okay, I have to go to my manager, who then goes to the other manager, who has to call up another guy from Amigo, which is the company that makes the little like the fat carts.
Wait, Amigo or Amiga?
No, Amigo, as in it's your Amigo and it goes.
Okay, I was gonna say, holy shit, that's what they're doing now?
So, Amigo will come in and like repair all of our shit, is what I would say if that's what they did. What they would do is they will get a ticket put in to get our things fixed, and then it'll be next year, and the guy will finally show up. And it's fucking. I have had to wait 6 months multiple times. So like all these years that I've been doing this, half of the time we have like one machine that is fucking working, and I almost always give it to my coworker because I work faster than he does. I have been told, and this is not me being an asshole, I have been told to my face by my boss, Alex, you work better than he does. Give him the machine so he can keep up with you. I'm not the asshole. That's just that I'm following my direct orders from like 2 years ago. Anyway.
From 2 years ago. Hell yeah.
Anyway, so the guy comes in here. We have a new guy now, a new system, because again, corporate's got to change everything now. We no longer ask Amigo for anything because they're very incompetent and very slow. So instead what we do is corporate made a new position where they literally just have a corporate engineer, and we'll call him like Johnny. Johnny comes in here, and he's like this. He's kind of like this older guy. He's like maybe like 40 something, maybe 50. He's bald and stuff. And he comes in here and asks me, he's like, all right, what's the problem? I come and tell him like, here's this with this machine. This one's here. This wheel's squeaky here. The fucking wires here don't work. Blah blah blah. I'm giving him like the whole rundown, right? And I know this guy actually gives a shit because when I told him that wheel is like, well, the reason we don't use this machine is it actually works perfectly fine. It just squeaks so fucking loudly it makes us want to kill ourselves because it's. It's like this really high-pitched squealing noise, and everyone that you hear it across the entire lot, and I just told him we find it very embarrassing to use.
Oh, dude, okay. I had something like that happen. So when I worked at the pharmacy, the radio would be set to like 96 classic hits, only classic 90s hits. Thunder, feel the thunder, etc., right? Mm-hmm. And there was one specific song that would play on there, and it had like this beep, beep, beep backing track. No one in the pharmacy except me could hear that, and it would do like the beep, 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 and that last beep would like grind in the back of my fucking brain, dude, and it would make me go nuts.
I'm so happy that
eventually
I
threatened to like just change it to NPR if they didn't shut off the fucking radio.
Yeah, so as you know, we have Wal-Mart radio, and I catch it when I go inside the store for like break or something for like brief periods of time, right? To take fucking League of Legends. But like, because I work outside, I don't have to fucking hear it, and it feels so fucking great. Except for that one day, for some fucking reason, I don't know why this happened. I swear I didn't dream this. They put speakers outside of the store and put Wal-Mart radio up to those speakers, and then the next day they were gone. I have no idea why. For one day I had to hear Imagine Dragons in my fucking parking lot.
Do you think someone stole it for scrap metal? You think they loaded up at one of the double layer carts and carried it on down?
Possibly. Or maybe the customers just complained because it was fucking annoying. So, anyway, back to this guy, Johnny.
It was disturbing the peacocks.
Yes, I haven't heard them crow in, like, a while. I haven't heard them crow in, like, 2 months. I hope they're alright. I had to worry about the peacocks every now and then. They were pretty quiet this year, but they were there. Like, in the summer, they caught a couple times. But anyway.
Hell yeah.
But anyway. This Johnny guy shows up, and I know he gave a shit, because I was telling him about the wheel. He told me to run it, and he put his hands and knees on the ground and had his head up to the ear, like cartoon style, to hear, his head up to the machine to hear, like, where the squeaking was. I saw him do that, and I'm like, oh, this guy actually gives a shit. Oh, I think things are actually gonna fucking get fixed around here. And credit where it's due, he's been doing pretty good. Like, the machines are still kind of jank because they're just really old, but he has shown up every, like, week now, and he's just been actually trying to get these things working with us. I really appreciate the new corporate position of literally the corporate engineer. He covers, like, a couple stores. He's not, like, our guy. He shows up for, like, 3 different Walmarts, right? But I do like this guy. And so,
I assume he's there probably for stuff like whenever they have those promotional things where they set up a bunch of, like, garbage to make sure that, like, hey, this doesn't tumble over and kill a bunch of people. Hey, our radio's been having problems. Hey, we've got our scissor lift is having problems.
Yeah, and anything, they have, like, anything technical that requires, like, literally any guy with any wires and shit, he's on the job. He is just the corporate engineer. But here's what we'll talk about the incompetence part that I think is really, 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 really funny. So, the way that these machines work is they have a little key, they have a little remote that like makes them like drive when you're not holding the handles, and you have the handles to drive them otherwise. So at some point, one of my coworkers broke the remote. I don't know, like, it could have just been old. He could have dropped it. I don't know. He just comes up to me one day. He's like, "Fuck, dude, this thing's fucked up." I'm like, "How the fuck is it fucked up?" Like, just change the batteries. They're like, "Nah, man, it doesn't work." I'm like, "Ah, fuck." So we had to get a new remote, and I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna take like a fucking month or two to get a new fucking remote. But fucking Johnny shows up, and he's like, "Don't worry, I'll get you a new remote immediately." He puts in the fucking order. I watch him fucking do it on his fucking phone, and we get it in 2 days. I'm like, man, I fucking love Johnny right now. So he comes in, and I'm like, "All right, where's the remote?" And he's like, "I got some really bad news for you." I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean you got bad news?" And he shows me the order. It's like 468B or whatever. He's like, "The order got here. Went back there, didn't see it. Asked the boss where it was. He says, I don't know." And then I'm being him right now. He says, "What do you mean you don't know?" And he's like, "I don't know." And he says, "All right, here," and we'll call this other guy Danny. He's like, "Danny," and who's like basically like the manager. "Danny, it says you signed off on the remote. You have seen the remote and have signed off for it. Where is the remote?" And he goes, "I don't know. I didn't see it." And so fucking Johnny is fucking pissed, and I see him stomping through the goddamn thing to go yell at like another fucking manager above him because he's so fucking pissed off because he just came from another store where they lost $2,000 worth of equipment for the exact same problem. The store manager signed off on a bunch of shit and then just misplaced the shit. And they just never found the $2,000 worth of equipment that this fucking manager in like the store in like I think it's Overland, like that's like the town over, right? And he lost $2,000 of just technical shit. He didn't specify.
Something like that happened at. So I'm unemployed now, right? I will say nondescriptly, I have worked at like 7 or 8 different places within the past like 2 years, right? And at one of those places, they misplaced like $13,000 worth of equipment.
It's fucking
and then they eventually found it years later, just behind a box. No one ever looked. They looked, but like they didn't ever move a single cardboard box.
See, that's bullshit because I went back there because when he told me that, I'm like, okay, well, I'm pissed. I want my fucking remote. I went back there because I used to work with in the back. I've been all over this fucking store, right? I know like the back of my fucking hand, all right? So I go back there and I'm like, I look for everywhere for it. I look for under the loading bay because it's where you like all the like whenever you get deliveries.
Where they get their shipments in.
Yeah. We have 2 different spots. Well, actually, we're remodeling right now, but we've had 2 different spots where, like, over here is where Cap 2 will go and get the actual, like, shit that we put on our little, fucking, L carts, then drive out and do the stocking. That's what Cap 2 does. Those guys get the goods, while the other loading area is where we get, like, our Wal-Mart, like, brand, like, just our shit, you know? Just when we order, like, new carts, new machines, new radio speakers, right?
Store stuff.
Yeah. Just the store garbage. So I'm in the store garbage area and I'm looking fucking everywhere. I'm looking behind things. Like we have like this little cardboard like baler, you know, that crushes everything. I'm looking in there. I'm looking literally everywhere it could possibly fucking be, and I couldn't fucking find it either. So I don't know who got this little fucking like hand-sized remote and just said, whatever, threw it over their shoulder cartoon style and lost us like an extra like $100. But we did.
Well, I know exactly who would do it. A Walmart employee.
Fucking God. A Walmart manager. So we had to order another one, and we got that remote, and we didn't misplace it that time because the fucking store manager got fucking yelled the fuck out by the corporate engineer. So we have a new remote, and it actually works now. But that's been like... It's been a series of incompetency, but things are actually looking up for once because we got this guy from corporate who's here who doesn't fuck around now, and it's great. I love this guy. I love Johnny. He's been very good for us cardies out there.
So at my job, at any of these ones that I worked at in the past 2 years, I had a very interesting temp moment. So I've had a few instances working with these fucking tempies, right? There was a big project we were working on. I won't give any specifics because I signed a piece of paper explicitly saying that I would not give any specifics.
I keep saying your job is sketchy as fuck. You work with crypto, you're in Telegram instead of just Discord like a normal person. You had to sign NDAs. You told me you couldn't specify the name of the company.
Dude, okay, here's something crazy with Telegram. So, you can actually delete messages that other people have received.
That's pretty powerful.
Isn't that fucking crazy? Like, if I sent, like, a funny image to you, I could delete it from your end. The tools to gaslight are powerful. But what happened with the temps is we had them with us. We had, like, a ton of them. We were doing a bunch of work. And a dude comes in, and I'm like... Immediately, I smell the weed on him. I'm like, oh, shit, dude, this is a very bad idea. I told him, I'm like, dude, you gotta, like, you should probably, like, go to Casey's and, like, go to the bathroom there, because there's no sink at my work, at my old work. And he's like, yeah, whatever, man, whatever. And then I think maybe 2 minutes later, the boss man comes in. He, like, walks in, he's in, like, the middle of a sentence, stops, I see him sniff, continues with what he was saying, right? And then 5 minutes later, he calls everyone in, and he's like, everyone in this room is going home today, you're all fired. And I was like, damn, that fucking... Imagine some fucking schlub who can't go literally 4 hours without smoking weed getting you fired. I would go sicko mode on him. I would take my crypto crowbar to him.
Fucking weed smokers trying to tell you they ain't addicted when it's been 4 fucking hours since their last hit.
Here's another. I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of some of the really cool things that have happened at my job. Alex, do you know what an arc blast is?
Is it like a Biden blast?
Do you know what an arc flash is?
Isn't that when you are working with like a toolbox and it just fucking flashes and zaps you and tries to fucking kill you?
Sort of. So I had both of those. Well, only one of them happened. The other one absolutely could have. It would have exploded me into a million pieces like a Power Rangers villain. So an arc flash, I had a coworker plug a thing into an outlet, and then maybe 10 feet to the side, it fucking blam, shot a lightning bolt out into the wall. He did nothing wrong. He just plugged a thing in. Then another one, I was doing a full site-wide inventory. They want an inventory of every single thing, right? And I asked them, like, okay, so every single thing, right? They're like, yeah. I was like, okay, what about these giant power transformers? Like, yeah, go ahead and open those up and take a photo of the inside. Now, everyone who's listening to this who has ever worked around live electricity, just, like, pause the podcast. There is no situation ever in which you should open a fucking power transformer, a transformer, when the cocksucker's running. Because, Alex, if you open it, it exposes, like, the electrical copper or whatever the fuck. And an arc blast is when the dust and particulates in the air get electrified and fucking explode.
Oh.
It reaches up to hotter than the temperature of the sun. So, I did that twice. Because I was told to do. I opened them twice and did not die. The best part, too, is they came in with some Chinese investors and redid every single thing that we did because they didn't trust our work because we weren't Chinese.
Oh, you mean me?
So it was completely
me and you
useless.
From the Chinese version of the podcast were manga artists making solar lies?
Yes. If that was that alternate universe as seen in the description with the rest of the stupid AI generated images we made, that would have been different. But sadly, it was not. I think I told the story of the podcast too at one of my job sites where it was so cold that there were actual fucking snowdrifts inside of the location.
Yes,
like snow had come in through the walls, that the Ethernet cords would snap into 12-pointed daggers.
Yes,
My feet got so cold that they would stop being cold, which is the scariest thing ever.
Yes, or as I call it, living in Illinois.
It's okay. I'm hopefully going to be moving to Texas. We'll see. I hope that happens. Dude, if I move to Texas, that'll be the funniest thing ever.
Why do you want to move in Texas? Why Texas exactly?
Just a job opportunity there. And also, it's not Illinois.
Also,
it might
it's
just
not
be
Illinois.
Brown, Illinois, though.
Brown, Illinois.
It might just be Brown, Illinois.
I
Yeah.
hope you know
I know,
Spanish.
it's like... I do.
Oh, fuck. Well, I don't.
Well, you better get learning, gringo.
Aye.
That's Spanish for hello.
So,
Alex. Video games.
speaking of video games, I had a very fun little adventure since you guys last heard me talk about my 3DS. So, while hacking, of course, after we put out that video, Nintendo tried to patch out a lot of those hacks, which is a real pain in my ass. So the method
Hack of the 3DS you're talking about, right?
right now, yes. I'm going to move on to my other topic. Don't worry. I just want to cover this one really quickly. So the 3DS, the method that I used, like the friend seed miner and everything, sadly they patched that one out. If you were already hacked with your 3DS, the update isn't going to affect you. Basically, think of it like it's closing the door, but not kicking anyone out who got past the door already, right? But they only closed one door because there's like dozens of other hacking attempts that you could still do. So if you go to the website for like the 3DS hacks guide, there are still ways to hack your 3DS, guys. You're not fucked, but you're going to be doing a different method than I was. And so like a couple of people have been in the Discord asking me for like help with certain things. I've been able to help one guy, but like a lot of the times they're just like running into problems that I didn't have because the method they are using is just different than mine, you know? So I wouldn't know how to troubleshoot like using the 3DS sound, like there's the 3DS sound app with a little bird. You can use that to hack the app. I didn't know that. So if you have a problem with using that method, I don't fucking know what to fucking do to help you. That's completely different than what I did. You know what I mean? But anyway, speaking of hacking, I tried hacking my Vita. Because it's just sitting there collecting dust. Why the fuck not, right? Do you want to know how easy it is to hack the Vita?
More difficult than anything because no one actually has a Vita. It's the handheld Dreamcast.
Wrong. It's easier than the 3DS. People memed about the 3DS being easy. Dude, go to the Vita, open up the web browser, go to like vitahacks.org, wherever the fuck the website was. It says, do you wish to hack your device? Click the button. Congratulations, you've hacked your Vita.
Dude, imagine the chat energy of going to vitahacks.ru and saying no.
But like,
It redirects you to cool math games.
but like, it immediately unlocks the system and installs like some extra little apps for you right there, and then you use those apps to then just, you know, get all the homebrew apps going. It is legitimately minutes to hack your fucking Vita. It takes okay, what took me longer was the Vita memory card is only like a 64 gigabyte like little piece of shit you put in like the fucking card slot. It's like it's not a USB or a micro SD like the 3DS one is. It's like their own special SD card. So what people did is you can buy an SD card converter for the Vita, then put an actual micro SD in that, and then you can run off of that. Is what I would say if that's how that worked. Because what they give you with the converter is that actually it goes into the game slot, not the fucking card slot, because it's too hard to make that. So what you do is you buy the fucking fake memory card game to put in the game slot, then after you've hacked it, because you can only do this when you hack it, change the location of where it reads memory from MAO or whatever to UXO, which is where the card, like the game slot is. Then it thinks the game slot is the memory card, which it is, and then bam, you have like a 1 terabyte little micro SD in your Vita. You can never play a physical game ever again, but that's what you had to do. That was harder to do than the actual hacking process, because it was just like a bunch of random like code words I had to fucking learn.
So what? Now, if I had to guess, part of the reason you would hack the Vita is just it's probably a stronger system than the 3DS.
Yeah,
You could
it
probably does it have like better emulators or anything? Because I assume like there's no actual games on the Vita, like unless you're like some kind of predator who's playing that one jack-off game that used the touchscreen on the back.
So like, there's a lot of really great games on the Vita, like and other things. So
God of War 13, probably.
what I think about the Vita is like, what's on the Vita that also isn't on another fucking system? Because like even the Senran and Kagura games are also like on fucking Steam, right? Like, Risk of Rain 1 is also on Steam. Grim Fandango, the Sly Cooper collection, the God of War collection. Ah, fuck. And it's literally just like ports. Like the Vita is literally just a port machine. But here's the thing: all those ports are free now, baby. All those ports are free, and the PS Vita actually has a PSP built into it, much like how the 3DS is a DS and a Game Boy Advance built into it as well. And so, with the PSP, you can never actually use it, and there's never been PSP games released on the Vita, and there's obviously backwards compatible because it uses little USB little game chips.
The tiny discs.
Yeah. Well, the PSP uses the discs, the UMDs, while like the Vita uses just little fucking USB things or whatever the fuck they're called. I don't even remember. Cartridges. That's right. Carts. They use tiny little carts, which you can't use anymore because you're putting the fake memory card in there, right? But
yep.
There's that one that's built into it. So you use a custom firmware called Adrenaline, which then reverts the PS Vita into PSP mode, and you starts playing the PSP that's built in there, and then you can play PSP games off the SD card. So just download a bunch of PSP games either from it has its own H shop. It's called like PKGJ for some fucking reason. But you can download Vita. You can download a bunch of PSP games off of that. Plus ones that aren't on there, you can just download a ROM and just slap it into the fucking ROM folder, and then it's just there because it just reads it off the SD card clean. Because it's an old system, they didn't think about that kind of stuff. Because like obviously you have the UMDs, obviously if it's on the SD card, they have it normally, right? They have it legitimately. There's no piracy check for that. You can also play PS1 games on Adrenaline because the PSP could perfectly run PS1 games with complete no problems. Asterisk.
Really?
Asterisk. Asterisk. Silent Hill is a little jank, but that's literally the only one. Everything else runs basically perfectly for whatever reason. But 99% of the time, the PS1 games are going to run absolutely perfectly, which is really, really interesting. So the Vita...
So you could play... PlayStation 1 had a lot of...
Yes.
So you could play like Final Fantasy VII very easily on your PSP. Unlike that fucking like... I think there's like a mobile port, and it just feels like ass to play.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And what's nice is a lot of these games were released on the PSN store on Vita. Like example, Chrono Cross, a PS1 game that I really, really like. If I officially downloaded like that was just released, right? If I just download the official release off of like PKGJ, that'll still pop up in Adrenaline because it's Adrenaline's just reading up the SD card. So it's like backwards compatible with itself, which is kind of weird when you think about it out loud. But like if you were to download like a PS1 game that was officially released on the Vita's PSN store, like say The Misadventures of Tron Bonne was released there, or Chrono Cross or Final Fantasy VII. Those would still show, like if you went into Adrenaline, aka the PSP mode, those would still pop up there on the game menu anyway, because it's just reading off the SD card, and that still runs the Adrenaline. It's really
and that
really
store has been the PSN store for 3 and the Vita and all that. I'm pretty sure has been down for like a couple years at this point too, right?
Yeah. So once again, if you want to get any of this content, piracy is ethical here. Just saying. But what I think is fascinating is I was downloading all these fucking games, and the Vita's download's pretty fucking slow off of PKGJ, so I would just like throw up like 30 things on the list, and then just go to fucking bed and wake up, and it still wasn't fucking done. So it took me a long time to download everything, because also, if you were to download DLC for these games, because there was a lot of Vita DLC, and I don't mean for Senran and Kagura, I mean for like everything I was downloading, you had to download each thing like individually. So it's like I can't buy like all DLC bundle like the 3DS's 8 shop does, where it has a DLC and update thing and just downloads it in your queue. It's, you bought, I don't know, Chex Notes, Tales of Vespera, the Tales of like Steel Skies 2. Well, there's 40 separate individual DLCs to download one by fucking one. Good luck, fucker.
If you were to ask me what games existed on the PSP, I would tell you Daxter and I think like 7 God of Wars because they were shitting those out like every 2 months.
Speaking of that, I was shitting on the PSP in the Vita homebrew Discord, where an individual here in our Discord was helping me hack my Vita because fuck it, why the hell not? I like having help while I do this, and he's like smarter about it than I am. So he briefed me into the Discord to ask questions because I was having an error with an issue with Adrenaline. It was kind of running slowly on the menu, but not the games. The issue, by the way, is when I was checking the menu as part of the guide, I accidentally hit left one time too many and changed the overclock speed. That's why it was running kind of slowly. When I put it back to default, it worked perfectly fucking smoothly. But I was in there and it's talking like, well, they're shilling Adrenaline to me and be like, oh, you can play all these PSP games, PS1 games. And I'm like, what the fuck's on the fucking PSP, dude? Fucking Patapon? I have like PSP games on my shelf. I have the UMD movie of Are We There Yet, by the way, starring Ice Cube, Patapon, Dexter, and like the Parappa remake, and that Star Wars game I talked about like 4 years ago. What the fuck?
Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
That's all you got. That's it.
It's like Battlefront Rogue Squadron or whatever. But like, what the fuck is on the fucking PSP? And then our ally, our staunch ally said, forgive him. He's a Tendi. To which I then responded with, I didn't hear an answer, fuckboy. They never gave me an answer, by the way. Anyway, so because I listened to the games, Dexter and the 3 Petapods. That's it. It's all it's on the Vita or on the PSP. But I downloaded like a billion PS1 games because there's good PS1 games out there. What's interesting to me is that so I own Mega Man Powered Up, which is a very, very good PSP game, by the way. I fucking love that one. But that's actually not on PKGJ. But the Maverick Hunter, the X remake is, which annoyed me. But if it's not on PKGJ, you can just download the ISO file and put it in there. What was funny is because that game had a lot of downloadable content that's just literally gone. It's been gone since like 2009. I had to go to GameFAQs and download somebody's 100% save file that also had all the DLC missions, as well as I think almost, if not everything he could have possibly downloaded from like the player-made levels like menu and put onto that one save file. So it's like this is like museum memory file that this guy made. Thank you, random.
That's very smart.
Yes, thank you, guy on GameFAQs. So now I have Mega Man Powered Up on my Vita with everything on it. That's not lost to time.
I'll have to do that when Mario Maker 2 inevitably shuts down. I'll have to go and like grab everything I can because Little Big Planet had that happen and got all of its shit was just wiped. It's just gone.
So after hacking my Vita, I downloaded all this shit, and what's nice is that it doesn't fuck up your save files. So I didn't have to like when I downloaded my 3DS hacking, I unfortunately lost the save files on my digital-based games. Which is like whatever, because I had to wipe the SD card while I was doing it. I had to format the SD card. That was just gonna happen, right? That's fine. I can accept it. But I didn't have to lose anything on the Vita, which was really nice. Again, it's easy, it's convenient. The only difficult thing was like, you have to down. What's what I'm looking for? You had to downgrade. That's right. You had to
download.
Yes, you had to downgrade the system update from like 3.7 to 3.6 for a bunch of homebrew shit to work. But that's not that hard. The hardest part was just swapping the memory card to the game card because it's just jank. But like, it's fine. I would recommend it just because it's really just having a bunch of portable PS1 games is really nice because I got this one, this shell for the PS Vita that basically gives it an L2 and R2 button. Because if you didn't know, the PS Vita actually has L2 and R2 support. You just touch.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you tap the back of like the touchpad on the back, on like the top corners. It's really awkward, and I tried playing Misadventures of Tron Bond with that years ago. It felt awful. Having to hold your Vita like this fucking goblin with your fingers to the sides, because you can't just like rest it naturally.
Like you're playing Dark. Oh yeah, because then you'd be
your fingers would be constantly touching the L2 and R2 buttons, and so it doesn't feel natural to hold it that way. But this shell basically. It makes it look like a little fucking like Wii U gamepad at this fucking point because of the way the handles look and shit. But it feels really, really good to play on with like the screen in the middle there and like having like this controller feel. And the L2 and R2 buttons work. So like if you do get a Vita, I would say spend the extra like $30 or $40 to buy that shell with the controller because it does feel really nice in your hands. So after downloading all of these games, I got a really fun thing for you. Hundreds of games. I'm like, Oh my god, it's gonna take me forever to get through this shit. Because like what I do with my games right now on I play all my handheld. I love handheld gaming. Loved it since I was a kid. Because I was always out in the move and moving around and shit, right? But what I work is I play them at my work. I play my 10D console at work. Kick my fucking feet up, take my shoes off, and I start gaming in the lunchroom. All right. So what I do is
while watching your cop dramas.
Yes. What I'll do is in between my getcha events, I'll take the downtime, the dead weeks, to play like a Nintendo game on my 3DS in between. Then I have a really nice balance set up between my Arc Knights and my fucking my 3DS. But once I downloaded all my Vita games, I'm like, oh my god, I'm not gonna ever get through all of these games, dude. I'm gonna be like fucking 50 years old by the time I get through this shit at this point.
Yes, that when I hacked my N64 and got that fucking like EverDrive thing, I was about 2 seconds away from downloading a humongous 7 gig file of every single N64 game, and I was like, hold on, Ted, are you really going to be playing Ocarina of Time on this thing? No, you're not. You've already beaten that game a million fucking times. Are you really going to be playing fucking buck to the bum to the bum to the base, buck to the bum, buck bumble? The fuck, no, you're not. So I went and I ended up trimming it down to like 28 different games, I think.
So after I did all of that shit, I downloaded these 300 games that I know I'm not going to take forever to fucking get through. I have not touched my Vita since because I've just been playing my 3DS still.
They were right about you, Alex. You are a Tendy.
I'm a Tendy at heart. But speaking of being a Tendy, I have one last thing about homebrewing I want to talk to you guys about. So I finally hacked my Wii U. Finally got around to doing that. Got the little extra SD card for the hacking. Because you need to have an SD card to do the homebrew like apps. Then you have to have like an external hard drive that's formatted to then put all the games on, right? So hacking the Wii U is pretty easy. At this point, I've hacked 2 consoles. I got this in the bag this time. Didn't need no video, didn't need no help. Got it through very quickly.
So I bought a Wii U for $42 from shopgoodwill.com. It arrived, I was super happy, and then I realized it was missing something. I don't have the gamepad. Can I still hack my Wii U to be like a Wii?
You're gonna need the gamepad because that's the primary controller. So you do all the menuing on, unfortunately.
Shit. Can I just buy a gamepad?
Yeah, you can just buy a gamepad and just sync it up. It has a sync button. Do you think they were like, oh, well, sorry, you broke your Wii U gamepad. Guess you gotta buy a new console, shitlord. No, you can buy replacement gamepads. That's not the problem.
Oh my god, it's like $66.
Well, better get buying. So hacking.
You had to stop yourself. You had to stop yourself there, Alex. I heard that. You were gonna say something.
I was totally not gonna call you Goyim or anything.
Just like Tucker Carlson, slavery was the worst thing that ever happened.
I was just going to call you
one stub toe away for him.
I was just gonna call you Goy. Better get buying, Goy. Anyway, now it's okay because there's the Palestinian war happened. It's okay to like not be nice to Jewish people.
Alex, we just got past your radicalized arc.
Woo! Okay, back to the Wii U. So, hacking the Wii U is also pretty easy. Coincidentally, it also involves you going to a website and saying, "Hey, do you want to hack your Wii U? Yes or no?" So when you go there, by the way, it has the fucking Squid Sisters on it. so you go. It's called like Wii U homebrew.xyz or some shit, and you hack it, and then you start installing like tiramisu or whatever the fuck it's called into your goddamn fucking Wii U. Now, after you do this, unlike the 3DS and Vita, which have like really refined things, because the Vita actually has like a surprisingly decent okay, how do I say this? The 3DS is a very big homebrew scene, which is a bunch of people making like garbage, right? Because it's a 10D console. But the Vita has a more smaller, refined homebrew community, because it's like nobody owns a Vita, but those who do seem to be pretty fucking competent. Because like going through the Vita, you actually have like a little computer menu with like folders. It's way easier and way more concise, and it feels great to fuck around on the Vita. I'm gonna be completely honest. And you can download like actual PC things. Like someone downported Katawa Shoujo, that 4chan visual novel, and put it on the Vita. I'm like, damn, that's pretty impressive. They will actually there's a Quake fucking downport and Quake 2 for fucking Vita, right? It's really cool. So like, it's a quantity and quality kind of thing. The Wii U has jack diddly fucking shit. Because nobody gives a fuck about the Wii U. Here's how I know nobody gave a fuck. With the 3DS, Hack It, Homebrew Channel's its own app. Vita, Tiramisu and shit's its own fucking app. Henkaku is its own fucking app and shit. Wii U, I gotta go to the Me Maker channel to access the Homebrew menu. Oh man, this is pretty fucking rough, ain't it? It's so fucking it is so skeevy. It feels so sad going from these two high quality things, mostly high quality things, like give me all this shit, and then going to the fucking PiiU, where I go to the fucking PiiU homebrew store, and it's like here's a file dumper and a text editor and a save editor and a admittedly one really good thing. If you buy the DS, or buy or had already downloaded or pirate the DS remake of Super Mario 64, which was because there was DS games on the Wii U Virtual Console, there's a controller hack that gives it analog control on the Wii U. Admittedly, that's really cool and it feels really good to play. Credit where it's due, but that's the one good thing on the PiiU's homebrew updater. There's like nothing else on
boy.
there.
An updated version of a game from 1996 that has analog controls removed in this release originally.
This, but unironically. So...
I look like this and I play this.
So, I was trying to get all these games downloaded to my Wii U. I'm like, okay, well, they gotta have a homebrew channel, an 8-shop, or a PKGJ. They don't. Nobody gives enough of a fuck about the Wii U to make a fake homebrew store for the Wii U.
So
here's how
can I still the whole reason I would want to hack my Wii U is just so that I have an HDMI like a fucking normal person and I don't have to use like some CRT shit and I could just pirate GameCube games. I just want to play Mario Kart Do-Dash or whatever. Do-Dash. Double Team, whatever the hell it was called. Double Trouble. Gruesome Twosome. Lock the cellar door. Whatever the hell it was.
Behold, my wicked
Buckton
brilliance.
Sunda.
So, it's Double Dash, and also, here's how it works. There is a homebrew store on the Wii U. It's called Nuspli, capital N-U-S, lowercase s, P-L-I. Nuspli is the worst thing I've ever fucking used in my goddamn life. Nuspli made me so fucking sad. This is what you PiiU owners got, huh? Oh my fucking god, it was so fucking awful. I complained about the Vita? Holy shit, dude. Okay, let me explain Nuspli. So, you have two options. Either use Nuspli or download the Wii U helper, which is called, by the way, in order to get through piracy checks, where like Watch Cartoon Online disguises itself by just having nothing but a bunch of like anime pictures and shit on it. The fucking Wii U pirate store on fucking console is called the Wii U USB helper. So Nintendo doesn't just immediately nuke it. It is not about helping you with whatever that is. It's about pirating fucking PiiU games. It has an entire list of every Wii U, Wii, like NES VC, Super Nintendo VC, GameCube game. Huge catalog there. However, for things like the GameCube, it's just giving you the injection file. You have to get the ISO yourself from like another website or something, right? But that is how like you throw the ISO in there, and it'll be like generating, bam, gives you like a Wii U game folder. Put it on your SD card. Then put that SD card into the Wii U. Turn it on. Then file transfer that from the SD card to the external because you don't want to waste all your fucking like 60 gigabytes on like fucking 60 GameCube games, right? Then, after it installs there, puts it on the external, then congratulations, you have a GameCube game on your Wii U. That's a massive pain in the ass, but that's how you do it. Or you use Nuspli, and and Nuspli is like, okay, you can have a queue system, it has updates, it has DLC, just like the 8-shop does. but it downloads so fucking slowly that I legitimately went to bed, woke up, and like Bayonetta 2 was not even a third of the way fucking done. And I went to work, came back, Bayonetta 2 was done. Bayonetta 1 wasn't because it went backwards for some reason. In fact, it will do a thing where after it's been on for enough time, it'll just stop working. You have to turn your Wii U off and back on to then continue downloading your game from the halfway point. I tried downloading like 200 fucking games. It took me legitimately an entire week to get done. Because I'm just like, oh, well, I'll just have this run while I go to work. And encountered a singular error. Guess I gotta turn my whole Wii U on and off again. Who knows when that happened while I was at work. Same thing if I go to bed and I wake up. At some point it encountered a singular error. Or for some reason...
But Alex...
Or for some reason...
How else are you gonna play Mario 64?
Mario 64 DS with modded controls. Thank you, Chud. Fucking... My... fucking external hard drive I bought, which I had to buy a fucking Y splitter thing so it could plug into both slots for extra power, would sometimes just turn off, which would require me to also turn the fucking Wii U on and off again, by the way. So I had all of these fucking issues to download all of these amazing Wii U games, like Bayonetta 1 and 2, and New Super Mario Bros. U, and other great games.
You know, this seems like a lot of work for me to play Pikmin 2.
So I was trying to look at all the games. I have a bunch of Wii games on there because there's games on the Wii, like just the shop, right? A couple of just actual Wii games like you just put in there. No injections required. They were just on the official store. And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I can play Donkey Kong Country Returns for the 15th fucking time. Fuck yeah, dude. But you know what I have, though? I got Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures 1 and 2, baby.
Hell yeah, the pack back? That's what I want to know.
The pack is back. The fucking...
Fuck yes.
Speaking of, I want to end this off with something. I want to end my little segment off with something. Honestly, when I was hacking the Wii U, I just thought to myself I should have just bought a Wii and hacked that, shouldn't I? Because the Wii can read off of SD, and that's way fucking simpler than whatever the fuck I'm doing here.
But the problem is... Do you have a television that still has the red, white, and yellow, Alex? Really?
Yes, actually, I do, and also you can just buy a converter, dude. I own a converter.
I thought that didn't work for, I thought it added, lag and shit.
I mean, maybe it does. I haven't used it, but I have one.
I went through this whole setup, and I've played 0 games on my Wii U. It took me a week to get it set up.
No. Well, I mean, that's still technically true. I haven't played anything on my Wii U like I haven't on my Vita. But also, my RGB converter, I haven't used anything for it because I haven't needed it. Because the only thing I would use it for would be to set up a stream for it. Because I can only stream off of the HDMI. If I wanted to just do something on my own, I would just play with my TV has the colored cable still. So if I wanted to just play on my own without streaming it, I don't need it. But anyway.
But what's the point in doing that?
To stream it.
You gotta monetize it.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. Why would I ever play a video game without making money from it?
Yeah, that's all video games are nowadays. So
I just play I play softball, and then I only play Super Mario Wonder. Was that what it was called? I only play that for money. It's like being gay for pay.
So I want to end this off.
I'm a gamer for paymer.
I want to end this off with Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. So
okay.
So have I ever told you the lore behind Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures?
I feel like you told me this a long time ago, but I do not remember.
I'm going to remind everyone, and for any new listener, because I think it's really, 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 really funny. And just seeing Pac-Man's stupid fucking face on my Wii U started making me chuckle uncontrollably. So, the story of Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures is Pac-Man, who's named Paxter, by the way, Pacopolis, goes to Paxter. He lives with his buddy Spiral because his parents are dead, and
who is Spiral? What are they He's like a slinky looking guy.
No, he's kind of like a carrot. He's like this red, kind of tall carrot shaped Pac-Man guy. They're all
it's just his friend.
Yeah, he lives with him. Well, because he lives there because his parents are dead. He can't live on his own. He's a kid in high school. He goes to high school, by the way. He has a bully named Skibo.
So is Spiral an adult then?
No, because Spiral has parents. Spiral just also goes to high school with him. Like imagine if,
okay,
imagine
so
if
Spiral's parent.
imagine if Sherry died and I went to go live with you. Like that's Pac-Man's fucking situation. So Paxter.
Okay, well in that case, Spiral would be the Squeebo bully. I'm just saying.
Skeebo, who's voiced by Ed from Ed and Eddie.
Skeebo.
He's like blue and has like a jock jacket, by the way. So Pac-Man.
Skeebo.
So
this bitch sounded like an Uno ripoff.
So Pacopolis a long time ago had this thing called the Ghost Wars, where where a bunch of Pac Nazis led by Adolf Packler, who's voiced by Double D, by the way, who wanted to kill,
who was almost in Smash,
who wanted to kill all of the yellow ones because he lost a game of ping pong. So he wanted to genocide all the yellow Pac people, and he successfully did that. However, Pac-Man's parents hid young Paxter away.
Holy shit! Did they really Jesus Christ this dude?
And they hid him.
Not Jesus, the other one,
Franco.
the other guy.
And so,
I was thinking biblical, like where they put him in there, Moses, not Jesus.
They hid him away, and so he survived.
They hardened Ghost Hitler's heart.
Yes, it's Adolf Packler. Get it right. Voiced by Double D, by the way. So the Adolf Packler and his Pagsies lost the war, and rather than just kill them because it's a kid's cartoon, they had to have this really long backstory to justify why they're a ghost in Pac-Man. They put all of the Pac Nazis, aka the Paxies, in a gigantic machine called the Soul Extractor, and it rips the souls out of their body. They then throw all of their soulless corpses in a big fridge in like the bottom of town.
What?
Yeah, they put all their bodies in like a big vault in like the mayor's like government building. What the fuck is the Capitol building of Pacopolis?
So
right?
There's a bunch of rotting fucking Pac-Man corpses?
Not rotting, they're in a fridge, thank you. They're preserved. But they have all of these bodies and all.
What are they gonna do? Are they gonna put them back in?
Hold on, they're not done yet. They're not done with the Paxies yet. So after they ripped out all their souls, they then damned all of them to hell through a big portal that is just in like the square garden of Pacopolis. Which looks.
This seems like a lot of work.
They then damned them to hell in a portal in this hedge maze. It looks like the Pac-Man maze, by the way. And Paxter, being taunted by the bully, accidentally activates the portal and releases all of the Pac Nazis' souls from hell, and they start rampaging through town trying to get their bodies back. And Paxter's got to eat these little power pellets with his friends Spiral and the Girl One and Skeebo, and they got to beat all the fucking Paxies and send them back to hell. This is all the backstory to justify why they're a ghost and he has to eat them. By the way, yellow ones can eat ghosts. That's why Betrayus, aka Adolf Packler, wanted to kill
Betrayus.
His name is Betrayus, and he's voiced by Double D, by the way. I just need to remind you that.
I remember.
And so that's why he wanted to also kill them, is because they could eat ghosts, even though he wasn't a ghost until he lost Pac War 2. And then the lore of this is really fucking stupid. And my favorite part about not only is there a Pac Nazi group and a Pac Holocaust, but there is a Pac Holocaust denier in lore. And it's
Fuck yes.
And it's Skeebo. because in the fucking school, it's like, all right, class, we're gonna be talking about the Ghost Wars. And Skeebo's like, oh, come on, Teach. Nobody believes in ghosts anymore. That shit didn't happen. And then, like, later, when it's revealed they were Nazis, I lost my shit fucking laughing at the fact that he just straight up said in history school, it didn't happen, Teach.
I'm gonna say this, Alex. It sounds like the ghosts are pretty fucking justified. You ripped their souls from their body and sent them to a damnation forever in a Pac-Man hell maze. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Why is Mr. Monopoly Pac-Man a fucking monster? Were they were they like yellow like Nazi Pac-Mans when they started? And then or were they just ghosts but they were physical and then they died and now they're ghosts?
Here's the thing. The lore is incredibly stupid because they call it the Ghost Wars even though they're the Paxies.
It sounds so dumb, Alex. I'm starting to think Zebo's right.
Skibo with the SK like a skeeb.
It's weird when he writes his name. He has like he draws like the S at the start twice. And he like draws it in like a weird way. I don't really get it.
So Packler and the mayor of Pacopolis are brothers, by the way. And
wait, it's Pac-Man's brother?
No, the mayor of Pacopolis, who's this green little Pac-Man who looks like a little fucking pea from VeggieTales.
What does the green Pac-Man do? The other one eats ghosts.
Here's the thing, remember. All the Pac people of Pacopolis, yes, they say Pac all the fucking time in this fucking show. All the Pac people of Pacopolis are all like various fucking colors of like pinks, greens, and blues and shit, right? But only Pac-Man is a yellow one because the yellow ones were genocided by the Pac Nazis, and he's the last of his kind. So I want to point out
that they were genocided because they could eat ghosts.
Even though technically the Paxies were all still normal human Pac people when they killed them, so they just kind of killed them for no reason other than he was just racist.
It sounds like it was some kind of holy war, like a crusade.
So, my favorite part about not only is all of this true...
Where was Pac-Man hidden? Did they just put him behind a rock?
They put him in a little baby stroller and put him behind, like, a barn shed.
And put him behind a fucking rock. Okay, R2-D2.
And my favorite part about all of this is that technically as part of this lore, because Pac-Man is Jewish, that means Pac-Man is circumcised.
That's why he's able to open his mouth that far.
It's just all they wanted to do was make backstory of why are there ghosts, and they just went way too much effort.
Why wouldn't they just have evil ghosts and he presses the button? Why do they have to have a genocide?
The yellow one genocide. I love, by the way, when the ghosts meet him, they're like, oh fuck, a yellow one. I just think like, is that like the peg equivalent of just calling him the N-word on sight? They just yell, oh fuck, a minority.
Are they still doing, is this like still
no,
like their thing?
This show had like 3 seasons and didn't finish season 3 because it sucked balls. I watched this show with Co, and it was the worst.
It has a 4 out of 10 on IMDb.
It is legitimately.
I don't like.
It is the worst shit I've seen. But the backstory, like lore episode, retroactively makes it really, 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 really funny because it's just like, yep, it's Pac-Man fighting the ghosts and whatever, and then they explain where the ghosts came from, and you go like, wait, what? It's just like it's like Cars 911, right? It's just like they didn't mean for it to go this way, but it kind of just went this way. Like, they didn't obviously mean to make Pac-Man a Jew. They just needed to we just need to make some bad guys. I don't know, make them look kind of like wear the German pickle-op helmets and like a gas mask or something. Yeah, fuck it, who cares? Why are they ghosts? They died. But we can't say that. That's too graphic. It's a kid's show.
Wait, they gave the ghosts German World War I outfits?
No, the Paxies when they were alive, they had little German uniforms.
Okay.
So like you can see like the writing process was they were just going like as they were going, right? They made the Ghost Wars. They probably thought actual ghosts before they made the Paxies later. They were just writing as they went. Like they didn't mean to make a Pac Nazi and then Pac-Man is getting like killing Nazi ghosts with like the power of like Jewish magic. It's obviously not what they meant to write.
God, he really is killing Nazi ghosts.
Like.
He's devouring their... What does he do when he eats them? Does he just shit them out?
He burps out the eyeballs, and they go like, balls. He got me, and then they run back to the portal in hell so they can respawn. Because they can't die, they're ghosts.
So, did the portal ever close?
No, it's just open. They just come and go sometimes. You have Inky, Blinky, Pinky and Clyde, who are like Pac-Man's kind of friends slash enemies because they butt heads a lot, but they also don't like Adolf Pac-Man because he's an asshole. They got roped into this Nazi shit. They didn't want to fucking genocide the yellow ones, so they want to get.
I want to know
back.
What the final episode of what was the final solution at the end of the fucking, I'm fucking looking this up right now.
Well, remember.
What did he do? What did Pac-Man do?
Well, it didn't finish. It had like 3
Bullshit. I'm looking at the last episode.
It had like 3 episodes of season 3, and then it just didn't finish because the show had no ratings, so they just pulled it. Like how the Rayman cartoon had 2 episodes before it died. The last episode I saw was when the mayor of Pacopolis, the green jelly bean guy, his niece from Pac Japan was coming to visit, and she's like a Pac weeaboo, and she says random words in Japanese.
Okay, that is kind of funny. That is kind of funny. You know what? They really made this Pac Nazi relatable. Maybe a little too relatable to me.
Remember. Whenever Pinky is trying to hit on Pac-Man, she was, in fact, a Nazi in real life.
She's a race traitor.
She's siding with the fucking Judith.
This is horror. I feel like at some point you told me about Zemo, but I must have completely blanked out on the whole Nazi Holocaust.
The Pac Holocaust, thank you. The Pac Holocaust, Pac Hitler, Pac Nazis, and the Pac Holocaust deniers.
Do you think? I think and if we literally had this entire conversation maybe 7 years ago when this came out, I think in like fucking 7 years of podcasting, I could do one redo. And if I get to choose one redo, it would be reminding me that Zemo is a Holocaust denier.
It's Skibo with a K.
Fucking who gives a shit?
Wow, he doesn't care about his...
Who gives a fucking shit?
Bro, he's voiced by Ed from Ed and Eddie. You should give a shit.
It is 3 a.m. I have spent an hour and a half with fucking Skizbo.
Okay.
With fucking Skinhead.
Okay, but imagine this, all right? Imagine this. Imagine if
Alex, you're speaking slow. I have the feeling that you are typing in. I bet I could fucking put into Bing image create Skibo on like the fields of fucking Normandy.
Imagine the final episode. Imagine the final episode of the fucking Pac-Man show that we never got because the show was canceled, by the way. Imagine the final episode of Pac-Man: The Ghostly Adventures. Is he finally gets like Pinky, Inky, Blinky, and Clyde's like souls back into their bodies, and first thing they do is just do like a fucking Pac Nazi salute.
Hey, Alex, you know how there's that game on Steam, Pac-Man 256?
No, what is that?
Oh, well, it's like a Pac-Man arcade game. I was trying to apply a Pac-Man 1488, but I think you missed the joke. Hold on a second. I gotta go to Bing Image Create right now.
Are you gonna
and put in Pac-Man 1488?
Bing AI Pac-Man from the Ghostly Adventures, surviving the beaches of Normandy. Okay, well, it didn't auto cancel me out and try to. By the way, I was banned from Bing for an hour because I kept trying to generate all
right, Alex, let me see it.
Okay, I have a few for you.
I hope he's got that stupid fucking look on his face.
I did a bad thing.
Oh no! Why is he looking like Kurt? Oh, that's a wall of dead men. Oh. That's Some gave all gave Pac.
Waka waka.
This is literally how he collected their souls to send people to hell, Alex.
So anyway, I highly recommend watching Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures on Watch Cartoon Online.
I'm gonna put into Bing Image Create. I need to end my podcast episode. Pac-Man, Ghost, Demon Blade Sword, Demon Blade Sword, Demon Blade Sword, Twin Peaks. Go ahead and put that in for me, Alex.
I just typed in Pac-Man and a ghost hosting a podcast because I didn't hear what you said.
Pac-Man and, quote, heavy shadows, end quote, ending their podcast run after 3 hours, comma, Facebook Marketplace, comma, picks that go hard.
Hey, these actually turned out pretty good.
We just kind of like gave up on doing a podcast after 90 minutes and started fucking with AI image generators again.
Listen, chat, you guys just don't get it. Fucking around with it, Bing chilling AI is very funny. Okay, I'm done with my topics.
Dude, that did actually turn out really well. It's a really good Pac-Man. Hey, what's that tattoo on his arm? It's got like a couple of lines. What's up with that, Alex? I don't remember that on Pac-Man. Did you add that in there? That's crazy.
Pac-Man looks at his arm and he's like, what could this number mean? I need concentration. Concentration, that's it. It's a phone number.
Holy shit, Alex. They just gave me a ripped as fuck Pac-Man because I put in pics that go hard.
Pics that go hard.
You know, Alex, I'm starting to think maybe it's not the best idea to record podcasts at 1:30 in the morning.
Nah, chat will love this shit, trust me. Okay. So, any closing statements from Tattles and Heavy Shadows?
Pics that go hard.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.